Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives on how to approach a career in the field from different artists, producers, engineers, and other great minds who share their stories on not only what's made them succeed, but also what has shaped them into the people that they are today. I hope you gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you in your endeavors on your own journey towards success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 159 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is a creator series. Today I welcomed a California artist. His name is Duhon. Duhon actually currently resides in Menifee, California. And if you're familiar with my story at all, that is part of the reason I started music, was after my trip to Menifee with my artist J Trey and his family. So it was a kind of a cool connection to see that someone is currently living there as well, and I'm looking forward to hopefully connecting with Duhon this summer again in person. But on this episode we got acclimated. He talked about the last EP he released in the summer of 2022 called Sorry Summer, the inspiration behind that, what it was like working remotely with his engineer that lives in Wisconsin, also the story behind how the artwork was created. He also teased, some of the music that's going to be coming up as he remains to try and stay consistent with everything, doing different singles, doing more projects. He talked about, the importance of putting his face out there and learning how important branding is to yourself as an artist, and just really what he's learned along the way as far as being able to keep the, balance with everything else he has going on in his life. Talked about some of his hobbies and other interests that help him to get creative. And overall, I really just love what Duhon's doing. I love his sound. And like I said, I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting up with him this summer, if not in the very near future once again. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, everyone. So welcome to episode 159 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today we have an awesome artist out on the West Coast. Everyone, please welcome Duhon to the show. How are you, man?
What's good, everybody? I am doing great. Just happy to be alive, happy to be breathing. So I can't complain,
Absolutely. I feel that one. Especially, times are just hectic these days. So you gotta be thankful for every day, man. But I'm happy to have you here. And to start off every episode, we have the guests give some background. How did you get into music? How long have you been doing it? Just some basic info for those that might not know you and what you do.
Right. So I'd say I started music around probably 5 years old. I was starting to play the piano. I think it was just because my sister was playing the guitar, so I was kind of wanted to just copy what she was doing. But yeah, definitely picked up the piano. I enjoyed it. And then I'd say around maybe like 9 or 10, I stopped playing the piano. And then shortly after, I started, it was kind of like an on and off thing of just picking it up, not picking it up. So music was always embedded, from the get-go. I think it was just more so what I wanted to do with music. But once I graduated high school, I'd say probably mid 2016 is when me and my friends started working on music just for fun. It wasn't anything serious at the time. But when we did drop our first song, the comments were just kind of like, I don't know, everyone was laughing at it, and I understand because of the song, that like the context that we had about it. But other than that, I started to realize like I didn't want that title as far as like, oh, he was just having fun as far as the music goes. Yeah. Like, no, I wanted to take it like really serious at that point. It was more of I can, like, this isn't my best, basically. Like, I know what I'm capable of doing, and I'm gonna show you guys like what I have in store. Yeah. And shortly after, I dropped my first song by myself, and it was more of like a kind of like a lo-fi kind of track. It was called Dear Simone on SoundCloud. And once I dropped that, it was kind of like the narrative like shifted. It was like, oh, like this is really different from what we heard like prior. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, exactly. Like this is what I'm capable of doing. But once I got that reaction from people, I think it was more so like okay, maybe I can take this somewhere instead of just like where I'm at the moment. And yeah, I mean, 7 years later, I'm here.
Yeah, man.
Still dropping music and enjoying every minute of it. You know, so
that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that, and I think it almost sounds like it was kind of a sigh of relief for you to kind of get that validation in a way where it's like you enjoyed doing it, yes, but to take that next step and to keep going, it's good to hear that from other people and from just total strangers too. How do you think you look back on that time as far as now, like you said, you're 7 years removed from it. How do you look back at that time, even collaborating with your friend? Like, has it changed a ton as far as even how you're approaching the music, or has it kind of just slowly evolved? And as you've gotten better and continued to do it, it's just become a little easier?
I think as I evolve, it's becoming easier. Just to, as far as constructing a song, I think I find it way easier for me to come up with hooks. I find it way easier for me to write verses pretty much with ease. I'm not going to say I'm the perfect individual, you know. I don't want to come on here and make it seem like, oh, I do this, I do that, you know. Like, there's moments where I do have my writer's block, and it's like, it's not the best, you know. There's times where I will write like crap, and it's horrible. But I think pretty much, I mean, you got to swing, you know. You got to keep swinging and hoping something strikes, you know. But I mean, as I've been working on music, I think there's some approaches that I've been taking differently. I think now I've been trying to perform more as an artist and just kind of put myself out there visually. I think that's one thing that I've lacked over the years, just because I know I have the catalog for my music. I think it's just a matter of me showing it to more fans than just my core fan base that I have right now, you know? And also the marketing, especially the marketing. I mean, as these 7 years went on, I mean, TikTok is like a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
You know, I think artists are definitely in that realm of like, no, I'm just an artist. Like, I don't create TikToks. Like, I've never been that person, you know? And I fell into that category for a while. I think it was, like I said, just a matter of just taking that first step and not being afraid to actually go for it, you know? But yeah, I mean, as these 7 years have gone, I've definitely evolved, and I definitely have found my sound as far as what I want to do, as far as the future goes, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy because even you look back to 2016, TikTok wasn't even a thing. And so it's like, wow, just for that amount of time to pass and then it blows up and it's now like such a standard thing, especially if you are an independent artist and you have to be pushing your own music and figuring out ways to brand yourself. It's so important. And I think, because I've said this on past episodes too, is that every artist, especially if they're not into it, they already have a negative connotation with all of the stuff, including, even if it's not TikTok, it could be posting on Instagram or posting wherever. They view it as like an evil, but it's like you can use it in your own way, and I don't think people understand that. They think they have to do what everybody else does constantly. It's like you can take a little bit of ideas from people and do your own thing with it. You don't have to mimic everybody to the T, and that's the cool part about where we're at, is that you have that freedom to be yourself and to be as unique as you want, and you're going to attract the right people. You know what I mean? You just got to find those people that are going to consume what you have, and then they're going to go listen to your music and eventually become a fan, hopefully. It just takes a lot of time, like you said, and it's just everything evolves, and who knows what's going to be next, because it's inevitable. You know what I mean? We got TikTok now. It could be something else in 3 years that we're going to have to learn. We're going to have to pick it up and just figure it out. So I definitely think that's great for you as well, and just to, you know, like we said, look back and you can be like, wow, I did make all this progress. Because there might have been a time even where you weren't so sure about it, and then once you got going, then it didn't stop. You know what I mean? So I think that's great, man. So your recent EP, I know it was last summer. It was called the Sorry Summer EP. So I do want to touch on that as far as, what kind of went into that body of work. Because I just, from hearing that, it had like the chill vibes, the guitar tracks and everything. Like I was really enjoying the feel of it. So what kind of went into that EP, and how do you think that's going to lead into whatever you got coming next as far as like maybe a project is concerned?
Right. So when I first, I think so. So starting with the title of the EP, which is Sorry Summer. I think I over the years when I've been dropping music, I think before I dropped my EP, I think I dropped maybe, I don't know if it was 2020 or 2021. I dropped literally every month of that year, and it was just completely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
From that point, it was, I mean, I don't know. I think I had so many people like asking me, like, when are you dropping a project? When are you dropping a project? When are you dropping a project? And me being the artist, I'm like, I want to market them and let them know, like, hey, like, I'm promising you a project's coming. Just give me time. Like, I just need the time, And as time was going on, things were happening, but it wasn't happening at the pace that I wanted it to happen, And unfortunately, I wasn't able to drop that music at that time.
Mm.
So for me, and that time, it was supposed to be during the summertime. So pretty much the whole premise of that title was just Sorry Summer. Like, here's my EP now, considering that I couldn't drop it prior.
Yeah.
So that's how the title came out. But as far as the music, I really wanted instrumentation. As far as the music went, I definitely wanted simplicity along with it. I think listening to my music before, I've noticed that I do have a pattern of enjoying, like, kind of just like guitar-y, like just a lot of string-based, just instruments, whether it's like funk music, R&B kind of music, just straight hip-hop, regardless of what I was making. So going into this project, I definitely wanted to appeal to each sound that I've had, but I wanted it to do it in a way where it felt complete to me. And when I say complete, I mean like from transitions to storyline to just basically everything, and talking to my engineer, he understood exactly where I was going with the premise of the project. So we both were on the same page. As soon as I sent him everything, we literally sat down, because he's all the way in Wisconsin. So I'm all the way in California, and obviously it's tough to kind of have that one-on-one connection, face-to-face, So he does use this stream where he sends me this link, and I stream listening to him mixing and mastering pretty much. And if I want, obviously, things tweaked at that moment, I'll stop him and say, hey, can we do this, this, and that? But going through the project, and actually, shout out to B4. Shout out to B4 Lasers. He mixed and engineered the whole track, or the whole project. And he's pretty much mixed a lot of my recent music. I'll say that. So shout out to B4 Lasers on that. But yeah, going back into the music, like I said, he understood what we were doing, and when I sent him everything, it was like boom, boom, boom. Like it wasn't like, oh, we have to run back and do this, we have to run back and fix this. It was smooth. Everything was perfectly fine. So B4 ended up getting everything taken care of on his end, and then all I needed was the artwork at that point. And so, funny thing is I actually reached out to my cousin, and it's funny because his name is Anthony. And he was like, so I ended up giving him the project before. So he was probably one of the first 5 people to listen to the project top to bottom. So I was like, bro, here you go. Take it, enjoy it, ingest it, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do to make this art cover very memorable, So when he sent it back to me, I was just in awe. I was like, yo, this is exactly how I saw the art, literally how I saw my project, literally just me sitting by myself next to a river, just relaxing, being in my own zen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that artwork definitely portrayed my brand as an artist as well, just because, one, I was at the point where I did not drop anything before I dropped my project. And that was because, one, I didn't feel like I was ready personally. And so I didn't want to give my fans any half-ass, anything, But yeah, I mean, once it came out, I was happy. I was thrilled. I was able to market it very well. Definitely got a great reaction from my fans, and it's still bringing in new fans. Which is a blessing. And I mean, yeah. As far as the new music goes, it's definitely been all over the place for Duhon. But I think it's finally getting to that point where it's the clouds are clearing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the sky is finally being visible.
Mm-hmm.
As far as when will I drop new music, I don't know yet. But I do want to drop music this year. That's definitely a goal of mine. Whether it be a project or just singles, I don't want to have that. I just don't want to be idle.
Yeah.
And I think because that'll definitely hurt me in the long run. Because I've seen it before and I've done it before,
mm-hmm.
and it's not fun, But yeah, I mean, I continue to write. I'm gonna start recording sooner or later. But yeah, as far as the sound, as of lately, I've been getting back into more of my rap feel, less melodic, more rap tone. Because I mean that's what got me started, listening to just that early '90s rap music. Definitely inspired me to become the artist that I am now. But yeah, I've also dabbled into house music, which is wild. I know it's something that's very, how do I say? It's not the easiest,
It's a bit of a different lane. It's like a totally different lane.
Yes, yeah. Literally. I think it's more, and I think I'm treating it more of into a pop structure more than a rap structure, which obviously can be done, but I think it's a matter of me saying, all right, where do you want to go? Do you want to go this way and stick with this, or do you want to go this way and stick with this? Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of the headspace that I'm at right now. Don't get me wrong, things are still getting worked on. I'm not stagnant because I don't like being stagnant. Mm-hmm. Sometimes. I tend to be a little impatient, but I've been working on being patient, in certain aspects. But yeah, once again, I'm excited that I dropped this project. I think it was long awaited for me as an artist, mm-hmm. and definitely for the fans and the listeners. And yeah, whoever listens to that project now, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys digest it. I hope you can pretty much put yourself in my shoes when listening to the project.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know how you can become a monthly supporter of the show. So if you click on the show description in your podcast platform, you'll see the word support this podcast toward the bottom, and you can follow that link to sign up. You have the options of donating $1, $5, or $10 a month, and that'll be used towards making the show a better experience for you as the listener. That means new and exciting guests, giveaways, and a lot more that we can continue to provide for you. So feel free to click that link and check it out, or visit anchor.fm/proven knowledge/support to contribute today. And for now, let's get back into the episode. I feel like the best thing that you said there too was, the fact that you did let it kind of take its time and get to where it needed to be in order to become what it is now, and to where, like you said, even years from now, I think the quality is going to be there to where people will hear that and be like, oh, I'm going to check out, what else he's done since then. And that's always great to have in your catalog, especially, like you said, as a first project, like the first thing that you kind of offered to people, and that'll just be like a lasting memory. So I also like what you said about, sending the ideas and the music to the artist to have them create around it. Because for the guy that I've worked with on a lot of my album art, he actually requests that. He'll say, send me the music so I can hear it, and I'll get the vibe from that, and I'll make something to it. And usually he'll tell us, he'll be like, I'll give you like 3 drafts and I'll send the first one over. But usually the first one is like amazing. So we end up just saying, oh, that's great, dude. Like you captured it right off the bat. So that's definitely too relatable right there. And I think it's great when you have a distinct vision and then someone else shares that vision, especially when, like you said about like an album artist or artwork, they make artwork, graphic designer, whatever you want to call them. But, when even if it's someone not a musician, it's like when they can share that vision, that's how it's like you're getting the point across, you know what I mean?
Right.
And what you're doing is, the message is getting received by other people in the right way. So I definitely hope that can continue to be kind of how it is for you moving forward, whether it's singles or more projects or whatever it's going to be. So I'm definitely excited for, what's coming up, man. And I'm definitely going to be on the lookout. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. As far as like, getting yourself in that creative zone, especially lately, what do you think are some other things you do outside of music, maybe hobbies, maybe just on your day-to-day life to kind of keep the balance, but also, give yourself inspiration to eventually, be writing, be recording, making great material?
Well, for one, I definitely love hanging out with my girlfriend. That's for sure, especially doing a lot of things like outside activities. I think it obviously shows us a new part of the world, as far as just experiences go between her and I. I'm a diehard video game fan, and I know she hates that 100%. So it goes both ways,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I love playing 2K. That's like as frustrating as it is. I'm a diehard Laker fan, and I can't stop watching basketball.
Yeah.
If it was like soccer, I would be tuning in 100%. But yeah, no. What else? I mean, I'm a big person on shoes. I love shoes.
Yeah.
Big fan of New Balances. Shout out New Balances. Those are like, man. If they ever reached out to me, I will literally give up every single pair of my shoes, like right now, to have a full pair of just all New Balances.
Yeah.
Like they are the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn, in my opinion.
You got to get that brand partnership going.
Man, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because I know they got, who do they got? They got like Jack Harlow. They got Kawhi Leonard on the roster. They got some people.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
like add Duhon to the mix, add him to the mix. So, but yeah, no, big person on shoes. As of lately, I've been trying to get back into my cartoons. So far, I've been watching a lot of like X-Men cartoons. I do enjoy my Marvel. So yeah, I do have a lot of things that occupy me, and I do have a lot of things that visually I see that can inspire me, to do the work that I'm doing now. But yeah, Uh, those are some of the things that I enjoy doing outside of music.
Exactly. Hopefully the Lakers can keep this run going that they're on.
Man,
We'll see.
man, the media just loves underdogging them every
Yeah.
single time. Every time. But I get it. I get it. You know, they started off early, horrible.
Yeah.
You know,
They had that nice mid-season resurgence, I think. Like
they
after the
did.
All-Star break, they've been
Yeah.
getting healthier. As long as Davis stays healthy, I think you got. But that's
Please.
always
That's
it's a dice
yeah.
roll.
That's man.
But
It's more of a left than a right at that point. You know.
Exactly.
So he's definitely every time he falls, I always let out a gasp.
Yeah.
Because I know something happened.
You just never know.
Happened.
He's getting up there in age too. He's been 10 years in the league now, so he's getting up there. But
and I think it's crazy because I think we do still have to realize like he's still getting adjusted to his height.
Yeah, honestly,
that growth spurt was no joke.
Yeah.
so
even I feel like in middle school and high school, he was reaching 6 foot already. Like by the time he was like 12 or 13 or whatever, it's like insane. So I can't even imagine.
So you definitely got to put that into retrospect. Considering the age that he is now, I'm sure he's fully capable of adjusting to his height. But I've always put that in there just because I'm sure it does put a damage on the body.
Yeah.
Like on how tall you.
I can't even imagine living like that, but who knows? Even the older guys like Shaq, I'm like, how is he still even surviving? But
like functioning properly.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I feel like same with Yao Ming too. He's actually looking great, which is surprising of his height too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm a big basketball junkie. I can talk sports all day.
That's awesome, man. Well, by the time this episode's out, it'll be the finals, so we'll know by then if they survived the storm.
If I put it in the air right now, Lakers are going all the way and we're winning it.
Yeah. And
I will be at the parade, so happy.
Yeah, man. They're hot right now, so they just got to stay hot. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Last few questions here, man, before we get out of here. These are ones I ask on every episode. The first one is, if you can go back 10 years ago, maybe give yourself a piece of advice or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
I'd say perform more. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there on a camera. Because now everything's visual.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody's wanting to know what's going on. I've never been the most public person, to let people know what I'm doing at that moment. But I think that would probably be a piece of advice. Another thing would probably be, I don't know. I think that's probably a big one. I think if I definitely took the time to actually figure out a marketing strategy, to promote my music to where my face is being seen instead of just my voice being heard,
Yeah.
I think that would have definitely propelled my music career. Not saying that I'm bothered or pissed off about it, I think it's just something that you have to realize as it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would tell younger Duhon to just don't be afraid to put yourself out there on a camera.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that probably my piece of advice for sure.
Yeah. And it's all a part of the brand too, like your brand identity. It is the voice and it is, showing yourself and your personality too.
Exactly.
So that's 100%. I'm with that. So 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself in music, in life, all that good stuff?
Me being I think I have an interesting personality. Once again, I'm not the perfect person, but I do feel that I have certain qualities that can be very marketable in other mediums.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I mean, possibly acting. I mean, considering I am an artist and I do storytell, directing can also be a thing that becomes something in my repertoire that I'd be looking to do. I know now, as of lately, I wouldn't say I've lived enough life to write a book yet, but I would love to have written a book, you know. 10 years from now, I think I feel like I would have enough life in me to be able to put out a book like that. Not saying my story is not interesting. I just think I know 10 years from now my story is going to be more interesting than what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, 10 years from now, I'm still performing, still making music, you know, still enjoying myself. Probably settle down with a family. Yeah, I mean, I definitely just want freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely just want freedom for myself, because I know with that comes a lot. No one can tell you anything at that point, you know, like you're not controlled.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people are looking to aspire for 10 years going down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, even tomorrow, people are looking to gain that freedom. Every inch, you know. But yeah, I mean, 10 years from now, I'm always praying, you know, that things just go the way that I'm moving, you know, and the way that I plan things to go. But yeah, that'd probably be my 10 year me.
Yeah. And it's really just kind of seeing those steps through, like one step at a time, one day at a time, and just watching it pay off. So that's great, man. And I'm definitely excited for everything you got coming up, man. So, and do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Drive safe, everybody. If you guys are listening to this while you're driving.
Hopefully they have it on the dashboard and not like looking actively at the screen.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
What else? I mean, yeah, drive safe. It's a blessing to make it home. You know, I think people don't understand that it's very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. I mean, you never know what could happen. I mean, tomorrow's not promised, but you know, we live for now. And yeah, definitely get ready for some new music, because as far as my inspiration and my motivation goes now, I'm definitely wanting to let my voice be heard again, musically. But yeah, that'd probably be my words of wisdom for me.
I was going to say that I don't think I've heard the drive safe one, but I echo that 100%, especially with how crazy people drive. But yes. But man, Duhon, I want to say again, you know, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to see everything you got coming, and keep up the good work, man, because I think what you're doing is awesome. I'm really a fan of what you do, and all your other endeavors you got coming up, and all the goals you got, you know, in line. I think it's all going to go how it should go, man. So keep it up, and we'll have to do this again soon. I know we got the Menifee connection, so we're
right
here, man.
There you go. Exactly.
So.
Exactly. That's a small connection too. That's real, like that's tight knit.
Exactly, man. Well, thank you again.
But yeah, no.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening today, everyone. That was episode 159. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit the support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send us funds. And feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.